if you buy something and you haven't looked at it, you are a big time risk taker. Because what if it's a bad property? No one's coming in and paying for that. If they don't come in and pay for it, you're going to get the property. If you want a bad property, what are you going to do with it?
That's right.
So people don't pay any attention. They just think, oh, this is a good sport to go down and start doing. The people that get educated in this business, they make small fortunes. I mean, make 50,000, 100,000 per deal. This is not unusual. We have, if you watch one of my videos, you'd see people making 25 and 50,000 regularly because they're doing a process. It's just like anything, whether it would be working on your hand and doing surgery or whether you're getting your hair fixed. It's a process, and it has to be done correctly. Otherwise, you get orange hair or a big infection in your hand. You're getting my point.
I get it.
Well, you know what happens, right? Because people don't know the process.
Hey there, do you want to skip the trial and error in real estate investing? Visit my website, dwanderful.com. I will show you how to do double your income in no time at all. A broke single mom fired from Denny's becomes America's most sought-after real estate investor. How does that happen? Well, that's me, Dwan Twyford, a.k.a. Dwanderful. But it doesn't stop there. I, along with some amazing guests, are going to teach you everything there is to know about investing. Listen, success is not exclusive. I can teach you, you can have it too. I can share with you. So I want you to join me for season 5 of the most wonderful real estate podcast ever. Cheers. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the most wonderful real estate podcast ever. I'm your host, Dwan Twyford. I am America's most sought after real estate investor. And I'm telling you, I have such a good treat for y'all today. This is my friend, Ted Thomas. And Ted and I have known each other at least 30 years. So long. We've spoken everywhere, all over the country, giant stages. And I'm so excited to have him on as my guest today. So before we start with Ted, the motto at Dwanderful is people before profits. So that's something that resonates with you. You're at the right place. I'm your girl. This is your guy. So let's get into it. So Ted, seriously, how the hell are you?
I am great. I never felt better.
So do you still say yes and yes?
Yes and yes. That's right. You know, I used to teach trial closes, so I'd say to people, yes or yes, and they would just say yes. So that was great, Joe. So,
I remember you and I, gosh darn, we spoke at the Learning Annexes in New York, and like Donald Trump was there, and Tony Robbins, and Kiyosaki, and Susie Orman, and you and me, and like, we had so much fun at all those big events.
Boy, those events are huge. Sometimes 40,000 people. I remember being in Los Angeles, and you couldn't leave the room because there was so many people in the hallway. You know, there's 40,000 people there. It was unbelievable.
They were fun. I kind of hated to see those go away. I thought, because they were just, you know, first of all, it's fun to speak and teach and train and, you know, and get to share our programs and our knowledge with people. But it was just always good to be able to see all the other speakers too.
Right. Absolutely.
So I haven't seen you.
Go have dinner. Go have dinners.
You look amazing. I'm just saying it. You look freaking amazing.
Oh, that was the right thing to say. Now you made my ego so big. I'm as big as the Empire State Building. Okay.
No, you look great. You look great. And you have been teaching the tax liens for, forever and ever. I actually learned what I know about them from you and sitting in all your classes and everything.
Well, thank you. You know, I started out in the foreclosure business. So my first career was as a pilot. And then when I finished flying, I got involved in foreclosure real estate, which I liked. And that worked well. But then everybody got in the business. And I said, well, if everybody's in the business, everybody's pushing the price up. You could buy foreclosures for 30 or 50 cents on the dollar. But, oh, my goodness, what happened? Next thing you know, people paying 70 and 80 cents on the dollar. I said, well, if you pay 80%, how are you going to make any money? And so I started learning about tax liens a little over 30 years ago. And I've been at it ever since. And it's been a great business. It still is a great business.
It still is.
And nationwide, it's in every single county in the United States. So, yeah.
So let's tell everyone right off the bat. Do you are you online? Do you have all social media? Do you have?
Oh yeah, we have all the social media channels.
Okay, so what is your social media?
Well, most people just want to go to tedthomas.com. That's the easiest place to start.
tedthomas.com.
Right. And so that's where most people start.
Okay, and then I know they can find you on YouTube, and so they'll just go to tedthomas.com and they'll find you in all the places.
Right. Yeah, and definitely YouTube. I have about 2,000 visitors on YouTube every day, about 55 or 6,000 subscribers to YouTube. And I just started. I'm not a tech guy. I'm a hands-on person. So
Oh,
I
no.
just started the YouTube channel 3 years ago, but it's up to 55,000 people already.
I know. Hey, listen, that's amazing. But
Yeah.
honestly, you just like you have so much knowledge with what
Thank
you
you.
do. So you
Thank
teach
you.
people. So let's talk about tax lien. So a lot
Okay.
of the people on my wonderful real estate podcast are people that are newer in the business. So if someone's like brand new, I'm like, just wholesale a house is a good way to get your feet wet. But tax liens are something I think that people can do straight out of the gate, even as new people. But a lot of
Absolutely.
people don't talk about it. In fact, I've had my podcast for 5 years. I think I've only interviewed like one or two people that teach people how to do tax liens because you're like the grandfather.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Oh, the Godfather is
The
right.
Godfather. You're the
That's
Godfather.
right.
You are the
Yeah, yeah.
Godfather of tax liens.
They're probably my students.
They
Yeah,
probably are your students. And when
yeah,
I
yeah.
found out that you were available, I was like, oh my God, Ted's on my podcast. I have to say, I feel really honored because
Oh,
I've
thank you.
just
Oh,
seen you
thank you.
on the giant stages and known you for so
Okay,
long. And we're
okay.
all like kind of new together, back. So
Right, right.
it's a real honor for me to have you on today.
Well, we should say one thing before we talk about tax certificates. So we worked in New York City and in big forums. I mean, there were so many people there, 20 or 30,000 people.
Yep.
And I'll never forget when we come up from down in these big forums, there were big rooms, and I'd come up a big elevator. I was come up the elevator, and there was a picture of you that was at least 20 foot tall, at least 20 foot. There you were, glamorous you, waving at all of us and welcoming us. I'll never forget that picture. So when we made the appointment for this broadcast, I said, Linda, you're not going to believe this. This gal was so glamorous. She had a picture that was so bad. I've never seen such a big picture in my life. And so here we are doing it again.
It
So
was.
you're just as glamorous now. I don't know how you did it, but
No.
you really did it.
Thank
You
you.
really did.
I will accept that compliment. Yeah, I remember the
Okay.
one there in New York, and they were like, they had me speak on the big stage with
Yeah.
Isaki.
Yeah.
They go, oh, we're going
Yeah.
to put up some pictures of you. And I remember myself, I didn't know. When I went in, I was like, oh my God, that's the biggest picture I've ever seen of myself anywhere. So then when we were done,
Oh,
I was like, could I have that picture? Like, how are you going to get it
yeah,
off? I'm like,
definitely.
I don't know, but it's like 20 feet tall. It was the biggest picture I've ever seen.
That's a trademark forever. I mean, it was unbelievable, really unbelievable. So
Those
so
are
you
some
were
really
you
good
were
times. And you and I spoke on the stages with Donald Trump and Tony Robbins and Kiyosaki, of course, us and
right.
Susie Orman. And I remember Russell Simmons
Any
was that
any big
one.
name that was on television was on that program, and
Everybody.
we were really the people that made the money for the event. But the big names were what brought people. Trump brought thousands and thousands of people. Susie Orman, all those people brought wonderful, wonderful crowds. I mean, I've never been in a crowd like we were in Los Angeles, where there was 40,000 people. I mean,
Oh,
that was. I've never been around anything like that. That was really fantastic.
I had
You know what
never
I got to do
seen.
is I got
I
to
had
talk
never
about
seen that
tax
many
again.
people either. When I got up on that really big stage, it was like 10,000 people. And I thought, oh, Lord of mercy. I did, I'm not nervous. And I got up there. And when I was standing there, I was like, ooh, all right,
Yeah,
I can do it. I can do it. I know what I'm talking about. But it was a lot of people.
yeah, it sure was. So let
It
me tell
was
you about
fun.
tax certificates.
So tell
So
us
for your
about taxes. So someone that's like, let's just say someone is like really super brand spanking new. They don't know anything about tax return.
okay, okay,
How does
let's
that work
let's
for a brand new
let's
person?
foundation right from the foundation. All right, so every property in the United States is taxable. All right, half of the states sell tax defaulted. All of them sell tax defaulted, but half of them will sell what's called a tax lien certificate. Now, this is a certificate that's produced by a local government, meaning a county. So
Yep.
there's over 3,000 plus counties, and all the counties that sell these tax certificates. Now, a tax certificate is nothing more than a piece of paper. And that's a piece of paper like I'm holding up right now. It's just a piece of paper like that.
Yep.
Okay. So if someone didn't pay their tax, the county would say, now, Dwan, you didn't pay your tax. So what we're going to do is we're going to slap your hand, and we want you to pay your tax on time. But meanwhile, we're going to let someone else buy this certificate, which is a tax on your house.
That's
So
right.
they could pay the tax on your property. So thousands of these certificates are available, and they pay outrageous interest rates. So it wouldn't matter whether you were in Florida where they pay all the way up to 18%, or whether you're in Iowa where they pay 24%, or whether you're in Phoenix, Arizona, where they paid 16%. So there's all these different amounts they pay. It's all up to the state to do that. Now, anybody can go to a tax lien certificate auction. Now you can do it online. You just raise your hand like that and say you want to buy it. And then you're just going to give your county give your money to the government. You can't give the money to me, can't give the money to you. This is a super safe. This is the safest investment in America today because it goes directly to the county.
Yep.
All right. Now the county will hold that money. Now you're not going to lose your house because you didn't pay the tax. So 97% of all these certificates will pay off. In other words, the people will come in, and when they come in and pay their tax, they get a penalty. So now they get their hand slapped.
Yeah.
Okay. And the penalty is just like MasterCharge and Visa. Same thing. It's a penalty. You didn't pay on time, so now you're going to pay. So if they paid in Florida, it might go all the way up to 18%. If they paid it in another state, it might be a different rate. The point is, these are safe certificates. So a place like Florida, they'll have 1 million certificates available in the month of May and June.
1 million a year?
A million. Miami, Florida will have 60 or 70. Here, I'll show you. So they advertise these in the newspaper. Anybody can find it. So this is the Tampa newspaper.
Yeah.
Okay. But there's no pictures. It's just lists of tax lien certificates.
Wow.
40,000 just in that list. So you can pick out every single county. So about 15 or 1,700 counties sell tax lien certificates.
Yeah.
So anybody can buy them. Anybody.
And so the thing I like about tax certificates, let's just say someone's taxes are, I don't know, $5,000.
Right.
I come in, I pay the $5,000 to the city. I have a tax certificate and I'm getting this 24% interest. And you can hold those for 2 years before the people have to. So at the end of the 2 years, you've made 24% interest for the last 2 years. And then the homeowner or the bank or someone is going to pay for that certificate because that certificate now moves into first position in front of the mortgage. So
exactly,
the bank isn't going to lose a whole entire mortgage over a tax certificate.
Right. So you get two possible pay. One could be the homeowner would pay for it or the bank would pay for it.
Yeah.
All right. Now, what if they don't pay you at all? So if you didn't get paid at all, then you're going to get the property without a mortgage.
That's right.
The mortgage is wiped out. So some people buy and pray that nobody pays because they're going to get the property. You're going to get the. So it's a great investment for it. And so you have to know that 95, 97% of these certificates are going to pay you. So you need to do it as a long-term investment. So where is it perfect for? How about a pension plan, an IRA plan, or something like that? If you have one of those, that's a perfect place for it. Then there's the other side of the business, which is called tax defaulted property. So you remember when I started, I said, every property, and there's 100 million of them in the United States, and we track them all with a computer right here. We can show you how to sit. I can sit where you're sitting right now, and you can tap into 100 million properties, 100 million. Now, those properties are going to get sold with a starting bid of the back taxes. Now, let's say it was a $100,000 property, and the starting bid is back taxes is probably only about $5,000. So there's a lot of margin there. But the smart people like you and me, and the people we teach, they're going to go to that auction, they're going to bid it up. So it won't get sold for $5,000, but you still can buy properties for 25, 30 cents on the dollar, and you made a great deal. So where are you going to get properties for 25 or 30 cents on the dollar?
No place.
At the tax defaulted auctions.
Yeah.
And there's 5,000 tax defaulted auctions every year.
Wow, that is so crazy. I just, way back, when I used to work with Sharon, when we were working in Fort Lauderdale, we would go to the Broward County and we'd buy a few tax certificates here and there. But hey, look, Bill Twyford. Look who I am talking to.
Oh my God, how you doing, Ted?
Wait,
hey, I'm great. I'm great.
Hold on. Let me get my.
You look so great, man.
Let me get my.
Oh, that's the right thing to say. Keep it up. Okay? Keep it. It's ego sob. All kinds of stuff coming on.
Wait. Let me get my filter off.
Okay.
Hang on. Give me 1 second. Oh, background. There you go.
It's good seeing you, man.
Thank you. Good to see you.
You look great.
So you guys must be living in a refrigerator and eating vitamin C. You don't eat food. You both look great.
Oh, well, thanks, man. I'm 66 now. It's been probably 20 years since we've been together that we've seen you.
We were just talking about the big pictures at the Learning Annex of Dawn.
Oh, there you go.
So he came
come
up
up the elevator.
20-foot picture of me.
Yeah.
I've never seen a big picture of any other woman like that. It was unbelievable. She was up there.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
I bet all those guys were tapping on your shoulder and saying, "Leave my number in case you decide to leave town." Right?
That's right. That's
I know that.
Right. Well, it's so good to see you, man. I just dropped her off a little bit of food, and when I was down eating, I thought, damn, I want to go see Ted while he was on the call with her, and I just got busy, but I'm glad I got to see you.
Thank you.
You look great, man. You look great.
Thank you.
We'll catch you later, Ted. See you.
All right, so long.
Here. Can't be leaving that pizza sitting right here. Okay, so I'll get rid of my background. This is, doesn't he look great?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
My
You
sexy
guys are
husband.
eating right, you're exercising, you're doing everything. Good for you.
We're doing all the things. So, yeah, I know we were the same way when we went to that one learning annex. And that picture, I was like, oh my God, I almost felt a little bit embarrassed. That picture was so big. And everybody's like, you're on the wall. I'm like, I know. I didn't know they were doing but I wish I would have figured out a way to get that picture and ship it to my house, because I would make it one of my walls.
Yes.
Oh God, it was funny.
Really?
So, so with the taxes, so people go on the county sites, or like what you have there, and then they buy the certificate. So let's go back to talking about that. They buy the certificate.
Okay, so if you bought a tax lien certificate, it's just a piece of paper like this. That's all it is. This is a certificate that I just put a plastic on so it wouldn't wear out. So you get a certificate, you take it home. You don't have any work to do. After you buy a tax certificate, it's a passive investment, so there's no work. So you buy the certificate, take it home, put it on your desk, then you just wait for the people to pay their tax. When they pay it, you're going to get all your money back. I said all your money back and the high interest rate. All right, now the other side of it is, if you go to any state that's selling tax defaulted property, those properties, you actually end up with a property and you get a deed like you guys do with regular real estate.
Oh, okay.
They give you a deed to that property. Now you own the property. So that means, you have to secure it. You want to take care of it. You're going to have to pay utilities. You're going to have to pay taxes. You're going to have to fix it up, whatever you have to do. And so we teach people how to do both of those businesses. They're both very lucrative business, but the one that people want for making money is tax defaulted property. If they've got pension plans or IRA plans, things like that, they probably want to do tax lien. Or if they're old people like me with lots of gray hair, well, then what they have to do is they have to say, guess what? We're going to buy some tax liens, be very conservative with their money. So it works for both parties that want to do it. It's not complicated, but generally real estate people are so busy doing all the stuff they're doing, they haven't learned about it. So it's become a specialty. And I've just done the same thing for the past 30 years. We teach classes, we take people to events, we take them on buying tours, we give little introduction things, virtual classes, everything that you can imagine. I don't have to pitch it because I just tell you at the end, anybody that wants to come to a 6-hour class, I do on every other Saturday. I charge them $47. Everything you ever wanted to know about tax certificates is in that 47. It's 6 hours. It starts at 11 in the morning, doesn't end till 5 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm going to get on one of those here in the next couple of weeks. So let's go back to the tax defaulted. So these are properties where someone brought the property tax, and whoever, the bank or for whatever reason, nobody stepped in to pay that tax certificate back with the interest rate. So now the property is going to be owned free and clear for the taxes. So people start bidding. So they bid, maybe they have a $5,000 certificate. Did they get it? Or this is something different where they're actually building on tax liens that defaulted?
Okay, so the tax lien that's defaulted, they'll notice that on the county website, and they'll put it in a newspaper like this stamp. So this particular one at 40,000. If I get another one here, it'll be even more. I'll show you that as we go. All right, so that certificate, when you bid on it, so they say, who wants this certificate? People raise their hand online or offline. So tax certificates generally are bid down. So the $5,000 you can't change because that's taxes. Can't change the tax. So they bid down the interest rate, and the lowest bidder gets it. The lowest bidder gets it, not the highest. Okay. So you have to be careful when you go to an auction. You have to learn this. You know what? You go there, you expect to make 18%, but then someone over here bids 17.5, and someone 17, someone 16. The lowest bidder is going to get it. So you have to really pay attention what you're doing at a tax lien certificate auction. Now, at a tax deed auction, it starts at the low price of back taxes. So in other words, the property has a tax of $5,000. That's where the bidding will start. And then because the property's worth, say, $100,000, some people are going to bid $20,000 for it. Some people are 25, 50. Some people will bid full price. It's up to them. But you can buy properties at those auctions for anywhere from a low of 10,000, 10% all the way up to 50%. Now, you're not going to get a colonial house.
No, you don't.
No.
But it's a good way to get property.
It's a good way because you can buy them for 30 or 40 cents on the dollar with no mortgage and no deed of trust on it. All right. And so those properties are in auction. Well, I'll show you. A place like some of those auctions are huge. For example, I'll show you a really big one. So this is an auction list from Los Angeles. You're just seeing the cover. This is how many properties are going to have.
Wow.
There's 2,000 properties at one auction, not California, just Los Angeles. This is one county.
That's a lot.
Oh, yeah. San Bernardino will have double this. San Bernardino County will have twice as many. And so these properties some of these properties are $5 million, $10 million. Other properties are just going to, the average in Los Angeles is $900,000 for the median price now.
Yeah, just for a median house. So, Sharon and I, back when we were working in Fort Lauderdale, so we went to the Broward County. We were going to go buy some tax certificates. And I did not know at that time because it was like brand new. And I did not know you yet. And the bidding was like, whatever, it was like 18%. And then people started bidding backwards. And we're like, what's happening right now? And so I learned like on the spot that people bid down and then whoever will take the least amount wins it. So we're there, we're like, oh, we're going to buy a whole bunch of these today. We're all excited. And then you got to so we're learning as we went. I think we bought a few, but there were people that would come in with a paper like that and just bid on just hundreds of things, just all day, bidding. This
is where you want to be careful. This is so what I did, so people see me do this on YouTube. They see me hold this stuff. So they say, I'm going to go down and buy those. Well, what they do is they go like this. I'm going to buy those 3 right there. Well, wait a minute. You wouldn't marry the man if you didn't see him. You got to go look at that property. What if it's in the middle of the ghetto? I mean, Broward County is the most competitive county in the United States.
Oh, I believe it.
More competitive than Miami. Miami-Dade is competitive, but Broward's the most competitive. If you buy something and you haven't looked at it, you are a big-time risk taker because what if it's a bad property? No one's coming in and paying for that. If they don't come in and pay for it, you're going to get the property. If you want a bad property, what are you going to do with it?
That's right.
So people don't pay any attention. They just think, oh, this is a good sport to go down and start doing. The people that get educated in this business, they make small fortunes. I mean, make $50,000, $100,000 per deal. This is not unusual. We have, if you watch one of my videos, you'd see people making $25,000 and $50,000 regularly because they're doing a process. It's just like anything, whether it would be working on your hand and doing surgery or whether you're getting your hair fixed. It's a process, and it has to be done correctly. Otherwise, you get orange hair or a big infection in your hand. You're getting my point.
I get it.
Well, you know what happens, right? Because people don't know the process. And if that's the case. So this is a process business, and if people follow the process, they can do well. If they don't and they wing it, they get in trouble. I get young people, they want to get rich quick. It's a problem. My average client is 45 to 105. Young people don't do this because they don't have the money. They want to go buy a BMW or they want to try to get a down payment on a condo or something, right? So I get adult people. So the people that come to us, we're able to give them training. That's the difference. Same thing you're doing. You're mentoring people and guiding them step by step. And that's what it takes to make money today, a step-by-step process.
And, it really does. Because, you and I have been in this business, over 30 years each, in different fields. But it's the same thing I tell people. It's like, if you want to learn how to buy and sell foreclosures or you want to be a landlord or a rehabber, like I did wing it back then because there was nobody teaching in 1990. So I learned seat of my pants. But then by the time like those learning annex, those kind of events came, there were people like you and people like me that had systems and programs that could say, look, cut your learning curve. Let me just show you how to do it the right way. And same thing, the first tax certificates that I ever went to at Broward County, Sharon, I don't know. We're sitting there, we're thinking we're going to bid on all this stuff, and everybody's bidding things down. And then I guess there must have been some tax defaults, and some people ended up with buying land that was like kind of in the Everglades, like where they had planned to build, but they never did. So everything was all swampy, or they'd buy a bunch of pieces together, but nothing was not a big enough space to put in a septic. And I mean, I know some people that ended up with, and they're like, oh yeah, we didn't go look at it. We just thought, it's a piece of land, it's got to be good. It's like, no, that's not necessarily true. You need to know what you're doing.
Yeah, and people buy, unfortunately, especially in Florida, they buy land where they don't know where the land is. So you are right next to it because you're right next to Lake Okeechobee.
Yeah.
So I've been at auctions where big companies will come in, whether they're banks or a hedge fund, and they'll buy 3,000 certificates off the list. So they're doing that in West Palm Beach. Well, part of the land that's mapped out is under Lake Okeechobee.
Exactly.
What are they going to do with property under Lake Okeechobee? So what's going to happen is they're going to give their money to the county. There's no one ever going to come in and redeem that and pay for it.
No.
So they lost. They're going to lose their money. So people say you can't lose. You get a little instruction, you learn just things to avoid. So It's very important that people take some kind of training. I remember when you were the only person they could go to for short sales.
That's right. The short sale queen. I have the trademark still to this day.
Well, when you did that, you had to go step by step, fall down, step by step, fall down.
Oh, yeah.
Until you could write the book. You wrote the book. Well, I wrote the book on tax liens and deeds.
I did.
And I tell you, it wasn't so easy to write.
I know. I did. I was doing short sales, and then I trademarked the term short sales as it applies to real estate. And it's like, hey, I still have that trademark to this day. It's like, I'm always keeping that trademark. I worked hard for that.
Yeah, darn right.
Are you enjoying this episode? Make sure you don't miss a single solitary episode. Click subscribe, like, follow, all the things so you'll get notifications whenever time a new show comes out. And let your friends know about it too. It's amazing. All right, so if you want to learn more about real estate investing, just reach out to dwanderful.com. I'll send you some free stuff. Back to the show.
So that it's the same story. The people that don't take training, there's a certain group, but the clients that I attract, I don't get anybody that doesn't have gray hair. They got gray hair and they're conservative. We can teach them all the steps. It's not unusual for us to have people at 80 and 90 years old going to auctions.
Yeah.
Not unusual. But they know what they're doing. They know what they're not guessing. Whereas the other people that go and guess, most auctions, I'll say 80% of the people you'll see at an auction have never had any training, have never talked to anybody. They just show up. The word auction means bargain to them. And so they overbid to win the auction. What are you going to sell it for if you overbid? Overbid property, there's no way you can sell it. It's impossible.
That's what
people
they do.
Don't understand that.
They do. They hear the word auction and go, oh, it's going to be a great deal. It's an auction. And it's not necessarily a good deal.
Yeah.
So, and all the different counties around the country, then, is all the bidding on the tax certificates the same? You start here and people bid backwards? Is that like the nationwide concept?
The challenge with the tax lien business is it's not, because some states like South Carolina, you can actually bid them up. They bid up like you would bid on a property. But South Carolina is such a good state to do it, because if you bid up and then the people don't come in and redeem it, they just automatically send you the deed. You don't even have to foreclose. They just send you a deed to the property and you own it. So that's how easy it is there. If you go to Texas and Georgia are my two favorite states, because if you buy in Texas, when you raise your hand and you buy a certificate, that certificate pays up to 25%.
That's so much money.
So what happens is when you bought the certificate, the property owner has 180 days to come back and buy the certificate back. If they don't buy it back, you get the property in 180 days.
That's nice.
In Georgia, you can buy it and earn a 20% return in 1 year, 30% the next year, 40% the year after that.
Dang. So then, like,
Yeah,
if the bank steps in and redeems it, they have to pay you the 20% and 30% and 40% for each of those years.
If the bank wants a certificate, they will come in and pay for it. Most of the banks just walk away from it because they don't want the headaches.
Yeah, they do.
Most
They
of them.
do.
Yeah. They don't understand what they've got, so they walk away because they don't want to hire an attorney and go through all that. Now, on a big colonial house that's worth $800,000, they're going to come in. But on small parcels of land and small properties, $200,000 properties, the bank's just going to walk.
Yeah, they do. They do. They let them go all the time. And so,
Yeah.
so now someone gets the tax certificate. It's gone through the process. Nobody redeemed it. They get the deed to the house, and then they can do whatever they want with it. It's their house.
Right. It's their house. And the only thing they'll have to do is I have to get a legal procedure done called a quiet title action.
Yeah,
That means the attorney goes out and checks all the reports to make sure that the title is correct, because banks won't accept properties that were delivered from the county because they don't know if the county did all the work right or not. And so you have to get a quiet title. 99% of the time, the county does it right, but you'll have to get a quiet title or you couldn't finance it.
Yeah, I forgot about that. It's like, oh, quiet title. I remember that. Some of the terms you don't use them for a long time. Like, oh, I remember that. Yeah, so you get like a title company that does a quiet title. They just confirm everything's clear and free, and then boom, you've got your house for the taxes.
Yeah. You have to use an attorney for that because it's a lawsuit.
Yeah.
Quiet title is a lawsuit, so it has to be done with an attorney. So you're kind of getting the idea. So I have all kinds of clients, and I have them all over the place. I have clients that are in the United Kingdom. I have them in Mexico City. I have them all over the United States. We're really big in Canada. When I finish this, I'll have Linda put a couple of testimonials in that'll tell you about some of those people so you can see what they do and how they did it. Women are especially good at this business, and I'll tell you why. It's because I don't teach fixer-uppers.
Yeah, exactly.
I say, just do the engineering of learning how to buy it, learning how to sell it, and sell it to guys and gals that want to fix it up. So this is a business that you buy low, get a little bit of margin, sell low to a fixer-upper or someone that wants to be a wholesaler, and move on to the next one. There's 5,000 auctions every single year. There's such an abundance, it's rare for them to be able to sell all the properties at auction.
Yeah.
See, this isn't overwhelmed. People, they're not overwhelmed. You can go to auctions, there'll be 800 people there. Just use the 80-20 rule. Maximum of 20% will do anything. All the 80% of they're just looking. Oh,
they're just there to watch.
Yeah, that's all.
They're there to watch. I used to like to go to the auctions at the courthouse steps, like in Broward County and Palm Beach County, and you walk in, there's so many people. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to get a house for so many people. But most people are just watching. There's just a little handful, and you see who they are, and then they're there every week or every day or however often it is. They're there all the time, buying and bidding on things.
Right. People are in the business, go to the auction. So there's enough room for everybody, anybody that wants to do it, and there's enough states to do it. And the beauty of it is, because what's happened in the last, actually over 10 years, but in the last 2 or 3 years, all of the counties have come online. There's only a few counties that aren't online now.
That's
and so
nice.
now we can teach people to sit here in the office and they can do all the research on the property, know everything they want to know about it, and they can buy property online if they want.
Yeah.
Now, we have one rule. That rule is don't buy anything where you didn't walk on the property.
That's right.
If you haven't seen it, don't buy it. Get your shoes dirty. Get the rain coming down on you because it's always raining when you want to look. There's always something wrong. So you want to look because if you don't know what you bought, well, you got a really big problem in your hands. So, but you can do all of it online now. So women are very good at online, number one. But number two, they don't have to you don't have to be a super salesperson because you see, you bought it low. So let's say you bought it at 30 cents. Hell, sell it at 50 cents on the dollar, and every rehabber in the world will be beating on your door because they're gonna put all the heavy work in it. Now they deserve what they do because they have to work hard. I mean, they really work hard.
Oh, they
But,
do.
no broken fingernails, no pain in your hair, none of that. So women do especially well,
I
especially well in
get
this
it.
business.
I get it. So the people that just want to I just want to buy certificates, sit on them for a couple years, and then they get redeemed. So,
Right.
and maybe they get it at like 18%. They paid $5,000 for it. So they're making 18% each year. So if they have it for 2 years before it's redeemed, they make 18% the first year, 18% the second year. So someone that just wants to buy the certificates and wait for them to be redeemed, they could have hundreds and hundreds of them at a time as long as they've got the cash for them.
As long as they get cash to buy them. I have clients that have bought up to 700 certificates over a period of a couple of years. So then their cash starts coming back. Now
Yeah.
they can just keep buying more and more and more. 95 to 97% of all those certificates are going to pay you.
Yeah, they are.
You pray that you get one that doesn't pay you. And then when that happens, I'll even put a little testimonial there so you can see it. This couple in Phoenix bought one. They spent $11,000 on the certificate. And the people didn't come in and pay. Turned out it was a $150,000 condo they bought. They went and looked first, and it was on the water. They bought it. They paid the taxes on it. The people never came in and paid. They ended up selling it and making $160,000. That's not unusual.
It's not unusual. And the reason I think a lot of that happens is a lot of the people that buy those certificates, when they don't get reimbursed, it's because maybe someone from another country bought a second home in the States and they don't understand if they don't pay their taxes, then it gets sold. Because I've had a lot of, I actually had one in Hollywood, Florida that we bought that was a little condo, like a little 1-bedroom condo on the beach. And Sharon and I ended up getting that. We were like, oh my gosh, we had this little efficiency right on the ocean in Hollywood. And the people that owned it were from Canada or somewhere like that. And they didn't know how it works here in the States. So you do end up with a lot of properties, especially in tourist areas, where people buy from out of country. You don't know how the tax laws work over here.
Well, it works the same way, reversed. Because the people in Michigan, they come down here and they buy and they forget about paying the taxes. So they could lose the house. But Floridians, a lot of Floridians, they want in the summertime, they want to go up and be on one of those lakes in Michigan. They want to be on a lake, go fishing. It's nice and cool at night and all that. They forget to pay their taxes. And so we have a bonanza going on right now in Michigan where my clients are buying properties in Michigan because people haven't paid the taxes. It's amazing. So it works both ways. People have so much, they forget to pay the taxes.
They do, and they just don't know. I mean, if you have a mortgage that has principal, interest, taxes, and insurance in it, your taxes are going to get paid. But a lot of people buy things free and clear, and then they just it slips by.
Young people get a mortgage with all that stuff in it. People that are buying the second property, they like you said, a lot of them pay cash.
Yeah.
Some people pass away. When they pass away and there's no relatives, those houses are all up for sale.
Yeah.
So it's not an unusual business.
Well, let's jump topics for a minute. So everyone, you are definitely the godfather of taxes. So everyone, you just go to tedthomas.com and you can find everything out possibly that this man knows. And I'm telling you from personal experience, I've seen him for decades working and doing this and making millionaires and helping other people and things like that. So let's go talk about some personal things. What's your favorite band of all time? Tell me your favorite band of all time. Who do you love to listen to?
Oh my goodness. I'm really going to date myself. I loved Glenn Miller and all the old bands.
I do too, though.
Harry James, all that. I mean, when I went to after regular school and went to the college things, they were still touring in those days, which is 1960 for me. That was nice. So that was
like the music from the 40s, like the big band music from the 40s.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know. It's like I know Glenn Miller. I have on my radio, our TV has Sirius Radio. I put on the 40s all the time. That era of music is like, it's so peaceful. And
well, you can even understand the words.
You can understand the words. There's no cursing. Yeah. And it's such nice music. I love 40s music. I listen to it a surprising amount because it's just really peaceful. And it makes you want to dance. You're like, oh, I want to get up. I want to do a waltz.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Glenn Miller, good for you. What kind of food? What's your favorite thing to eat? What do you like to eat when you go out?
Well, if I go out, I'm not a gourmand, as they say. Although I did spend part of my life studying wines and food. Now I'm really happy with a sirloin steak and a baked potato. So I'm an old school guy that likes that with lots of veggies.
I like just a steak, no veggies. I'll just take a
Oh no,
veggie
you gotta have
steak.
veggies. You gotta have veggies. Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
I'm at the point where I'm
I
making
really have to
smoothies.
make myself be better about that. I'm a meat eater. I could just eat meat all the time. But then I'm like, no,
Oh,
I gotta make veggies. No, I gotta have some salad. And
yeah.
I'm a meat
No,
eater.
no, I could eat the meat all the time, but I'd probably get sick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now, hey,
I
listen,
lose
as we
weight if
get
I
a
eat.
little older, we have to be more cautious about
Yeah,
what we eat.
I lose weight if I eat meat. I lose weight.
Yeah. Yeah. I think everybody does. So what's your
Yeah.
favorite part of the day? From waking up to going to bed, where's your happy time?
I'm happy most of the time, but I'm a morning person. I don't mind being solo by myself. My first career was a pilot, so I was very lucky. You start early days, and we could watch the sun go up. So my first major flying job was with Aloha Airlines in Honolulu, Hawaii. So when you took off out of the Honolulu airport, you headed east towards the Big Island, and we watched the sun come up over the Pacific. So when
Oh,
we finished the last flight of the day, that's at 9 o'clock at night, right? So we're leaving the Big Island after many trips back and forth, and now you could see the sunset of the day. So
wow.
both of those times a day are the favorite time.
I love that too. I love that too. So what is your biggest goal? Like right now, Ted Thomas, what's your biggest goal that you're working on, and how can the Dwanderful family help you achieve that?
Well, thank you. That was a nice thing to say. My biggest goal is to do more of what I'm doing now and just stay alive. I had a stroke 3 years ago, and so I lost my balance. All right, so I can't fly anymore. So I always have to be touching something. Like right now, I touch the table or my butt is in the chair. Otherwise I'll lose my balance and I could fall. So my goal is to live 5 more years, and then all what I have, I've already signed all the papers. I'm giving it all away to Habitat.
Oh, wow, that's really amazing.
Yes. Well, it's a
Well,
big
that
number of
is
dollars.
sweet.
Too.
Well, let's hope that you make it more than 5 years. 90 is too young. I feel like you're one of those
Oh,
people,
I
like
don't know about that.
you need to hang on to like 100.
Oh, all right. Hang on, Tony.
Give all of us give
I got to
us
get out of here. I got to get out of here, though, so the young people can take over.
No,
Yeah.
you just keep teaching them again. All right, so
Yeah,
the
thank
best
you.
way to reach you is tedthomas.com.
Yeah, but let me tell you something we'll do. We need to do a promo for your clients, okay? So I'm going to give you a promo code that's really easy.
Okay.
It's Dwan, DWAN 50. Okay. So you want to that's the promo code. Go to Ted Thomas /Dwan. And what they can do is every other week, I do a 6-hour virtual, so they can sit at home, put
Okay.
their feet up, they can have breakfast, they can have lunch. We're going to do a 6-hour class. Now, usually I charge $47. It's only $23. Okay. I always charge for everything. I'm not doing anything free. And what we'll do is they can come through that. If they ever wanted to learn about tax defaulted property or tax liens, they will know more after that 6 hours than you and I learned in our first 3 years.
Oh, here. So tedthomas.com /Dwan50.
You can do that, and it'll go right through. That'd be
And it'll
perfect.
go right through. Okay, so but I still have one more question for you. So before we wrap up, let me do my wrap up, and I got a really good question for you. So folks, again, Dwan Bent Twyford, America's most sought after real estate investor. You can find me at dwanderful.com. So Ted's known me a long time. So I took my name Dwan and wonderful, and I made a new word. So hence the world of Dwanderful. So you've always known me. I've always been outgoing. I've always been out there. I'm like, you know what? I'm getting older. I need some pink hair. I can't have gray hair. I have to be Dwanderful. I need something amazing. So that's how Dwanderful came to be. If you opt in over there, I have some free ebooks and some free training programs for you. And I'm going to ask you to do me a favor. If you enjoyed the show today, which how could you not with Ted Thomas, I want you to subscribe to my podcast, leave a 5-star review, and write something, because podcasts are definitely a labor of love. And we can't grow and get bigger without your help. And Ted, I don't know if you know this right now, but right now on Spotify, my podcast is like in the top 50.
Wow. Congratulations.
I know.
Good for
I
you.
get notifications.
deserve it.
I'm like, I was number 47 the other day. I was like, oh, 47 on
Wow.
Spotify under
Wow.
the category of business. It's like, oh my word.
Well,
So
listen, keep the pink hair, because my assistant said, I said, I know this woman. And she said, she's got pink hair. That's the first thing she said. I said, well, she was glamorous 25 years ago, so I can't imagine now. And then here we are.
I'm embracing the gray, but I can't be all gray. I have to have some.
Yeah. I have white.
You do.
White.
You look fabulous. Honestly, it's really such a blast in the past. I can't wait to tell people that I interviewed you and talked to you. Okay, so what I want you to do, Ted, is I want you to give us a parting word of wisdom, but it can only be one single word. One word.
Results.
Okay, now, so everyone that listens to me knows every week when our guest gives us our word of the week, our parting word of wisdom, you're going to write on a little sticky, you're going to put it up on your mirror, and every day you're going to say results, results, results. That's your word of the week. So tell us what that means to you so they know what you think the word results means.
Well, I have a policy with my company because I have a lot of young people that work with me, and they're always afraid to make mistakes. So I say it. They don't always believe me, but I say it continuously. I say, look, just do it. And if you make a mistake, you can't get fired. You make a mistake, you can't get fired. Because the only way I evaluate people is those 7 letters, results. What result did you produce? Now, if you make a mistake, just don't kill anybody. I mean, you don't run someone over. But if you make a mistake with a computer or with a client, we can call the client back and say, look, we made a mistake. And it's okay to do that. The heck with the mistakes, because people grow like this.
Yeah, they do.
You can't. Listen, I said it, and I can only say this to very few people. I can say it to you because you created a subject. You created short sale. There was short sales for executives and for people that really knew big time real estate, but there was no little person like us, real people, that knew what short sale meant. And then you came out with this big package of things, short sale. I still have it on the shelf. Next time I see you, I'm going to hold it up and show it to you. It's still in my. All right. So you started something, but you didn't start something without leveling out, crashing down, going up. Each time you went up, it's like the first time you try to do a push-up, or the first time you try to go on a diet. Just grade yourself on the result. That's all. So I tell my people, I'm just going to grade you on results. You will be amazed how it changes people, but they have to be reminded constantly. And we, as people, have to remember grade ourselves on result because we botch it up all the time.
Yeah, that's really kind of profound, actually, because I have some people that work for me that are younger, and whenever they make a mistake, they're always like, oh, I hope John doesn't fire me. It's like, I'm not going to fire you. Like, I'm teaching you. But, that's true. The results are the big picture because everyone's going to make mistakes. Nobody gets it right all the time.
Fail forward fast.
Fail forward fast. Okay. So after I say goodbye here, I want you to just hang on and stay with me for a second. So again, folks, Ted he is really the godfather. I'm really, honestly, it's like my heart's just warm seeing you again today. So go to tedthomas.com/Dwan, and I would highly advise you to watch one of those weekends. I think, Ted, I know I do down in Florida. I have an old training. Maybe I got back from like the Learning Annex days. And I'm going to have to dig it up too. So next time I see it, I can say, hey, I went to sign my OG
if you
copy.
If you can find it, send it to me. And our all new programs come out in December. We're just finishing them now. All new, and I'll send it to you.
Yeah, I'm
send me the old one.
I'm sure I do. When I go to Florida next time, I'm going through my old bookshelf. I'm going to find it because I know for sure that I have it. So, and I like your words results. And thank you for being a guest. You've been very kind and generous with your time and your effort and all of your crazy knowledge. So, folks, we'll be back again next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. And just remember that the truth is in the red letters. All right, everybody. Ciao. I'll see you next week. And Ted, again, thank you, and see you next week. You just had a taste of the most wonderful real estate podcast ever. So just one more thing before you go. If you laughed, if you learned something, please leave a 5-star review. Don't be a gatekeeper. Share it with everyone that you know. And I'll see you back here next week for the most wonderful real estate podcast ever.